Kia ora waihiki! Today we'll be making zero waste muesli. This is a great versatile recipe which doesn't have exact amounts here because you can put in whatever you like. So step 1, preparing your dry ingredients. Today I'll be using 2 cups of nuts, 1 cup of almonds and 1 cup of walnuts. I like my nuts in smaller chunks, so I'm chopping them up with a machine, but of course you can do that with a chopping knife or leave them whole. Next, if you're adding seeds and shredded coconut, put those in now. I've used half a cup of pumpkin seeds, half a cup of sunflower seeds, and 1 cup of shredded coconut. Then mix everything up, not with your hands, but with a spatula or something else, and add in your oats. I've used 750 grams or 1 packet here. Now I'm adding in my spices. Our family loves cinnamon, so I've added quite a lot there, and I'm also putting in some nutmeg and a bit of cardamom. Freshly ground spices are always best if you can get them, because they keep a bit more flavour. After adding in your spices, give your mixture another mix. Then you're on to step 2, the wet ingredients. For this, you'll need some honey, some vanilla essence, some water, and some oil. Pour 3/4 of a cup of water into a small pot and then add in 2 large tablespoons of honey. Stir those in and then add 1/4 of a cup of oil and 2 teaspoons of vanilla essence. You then want to put the pot on boil and watch until small white bubbles start to emerge. It's very important to watch the pot as it boils because those bubbles can turn up really fast and you want to take the pot off heat immediately afterwards, otherwise you can burn the mixture. Once it's come to a boil, you'll be pouring this into the dry ingredients and making sure that you've mixed thoroughly so that all the muesli is wet. You definitely don't want to leave chunks of dry muesli and chunks of wet muesli, as the wet parts won't cook properly while the dry ones won't have that coating of oil and honey to sweeten and toast the muesli. So it's very important that you mix thoroughly. Once your mixture is all evenly damp, pour it into at least 2 large low-lip trays and spread the mixture evenly. You don't want there to be too thick a layer, otherwise it will take much longer in the oven and the muesli won't get toasted. The trays go into the oven for 60 minutes at 100 degrees Celsius, and then you move on to the next step, chopping up your dried fruit. We like a variety of fruit in our household and have compromised on half a cup of 5 different kinds. We've got dried apricots, which you chop up into slivers and then squares, dried apples, for which you do the same. When you're chopping, make sure to try and keep the size about even, though it's not crucial, as these won't be baked, they just add to the texture and flavour of the muesli. We've also got some dates, which we chop up in about the same way. These are a bit tricky as they get quite sticky, so you can always dip your knife in a bit of water. Along with the chopped fruit, I'm also adding half a cup of cranberries and half a cup of raisins, and then mixing everything up so that it's ready to put into the muesli after it's finished baking. These are then set aside and we wait until the first hour in the oven is finished. Once the timer goes off, take the muesli out of the oven and just give it a good mix. You want to feel the muesli a little, and this is to make sure that it's starting to dry. Please do make sure to wash your hands before you touch the muesli, just a reminder. And then after you've given it a bit of a shake, you pop it back into the oven and set the timer for another 45 minutes. At that point, you'll be checking to see whether the muesli is a nice golden brown and that the coconut has started to crisp. You can then add in the fruit and pop everything back in the oven for another 5 to 10 minutes, or you can set the muesli out to cool and then pop it in your jar or other container ready to eat. Zero waste muesli is a delicious breakfast or snack,
And we'd love to hear about your favourite combination, so do let us know.